Hello everyone. Good afternoon and warm welcome to the session. This is a Friday afternoon, so we really appreciate you taking out time on a Friday afternoon. My name is Srijan Kalavatia. I run marketing initiatives at Wizergos. We are an emerging low-code application development company. The theme for the conversation is around how can low-code application development platforms be applied to a variety of business functions across the insurance industry vertical. And for today, we have our speakers. Mr. Shivabrata Mandal is the co-founder and CEO of Wizergos. He has close to about 20 years of experience of working in different multinational companies such as Cisco, Virident, and AGST. He's an IT veteran. He has multiple US patents that has been awarded to him, and he is an IT Kharagpur alumnus. And I am Srijan Kulavatia. I lead marketing efforts at Wizergos. Overall, I have close to about 8 years of experience in marketing strategy, content marketing, and here at Wizergos, I manage different outbound marketing activities and content strategy. Previously, I've handled outbound marketing initiatives for startups. Over the next hour or so, this is what we are going to present to you. We are going to give you an idea of the future of insurance and how the future of insurance is going to be fueled by digital transformation initiatives. And we are also going to take a look at different low code initiatives and the evolution of low code industry in general, and how does it help the insurance industry vertical in general. And we are also going to take a much deeper dive into the overall applications and use cases of low code for different insurers. This would be, the session for 45 minutes or so, and this would be followed by a Q&A session. So before we actually begin with the actual webinar session, just a few housekeeping points for you. For the first 45 minutes or so, we'll be going through the presentation material. Please keep yourselves on mute during the first 45 minutes. And there is a separate Q&A session towards the last 15 minutes of the webinar. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions during that particular point in time. However, if you feel that you have any question, please feel free to put down your questions in the chat box, which you will find at the bottom right corner of your screen. So let me just get started with giving you an idea of what the future of insurance looks like. So over the next 4 to 5 years, insurers have to think about their business priorities that are constantly on the change, that are evolving constantly. This is necessary for them to build competitive advantage and for them to win in the overall industry. So, and most of these business priorities will be powered by digital. If you look at some of these priorities of the insurers, they range from customer engagement. So customer demands for different insurance products and solutions, and even their mode of engagement has evolved over the last few years. And this is going to evolve as we speak as well in the next 4 to 5 years. And this is going to be a very, very dominant phase in shaping the priorities of the insurance companies. When we take a look at how the business is run, how the insurance business is run, there is going to be a complete transformation of the business model as well. So business model innovation is also going to be a focus area for the insurance companies. So for example, one area under the domain of business model innovation could be how can insurers develop new products and new solutions. For example, prevention. In typical life insurance companies, can they really focus on prevention mechanisms for their customers? And these could generate additional revenue streams for the companies. We also need to talk about digital-led operations transformation, because the insurers would also be, very wary about cost pressures. So digital-led operations transformation would lend credence to business operations optimization through various technologies such as RPA or AI or analytics. And we will see how some of these technologies can essentially be powered. The fourth area that insurers must take a look at is alliances and how can they build relevant skills. So when we talk about alliances, we know that the whole world of fintech and insurtech is coming alive, and co-optation has become the norm for different companies. And the race to acquire skilled manpower would also be very critical for success. The fifth area that the insurers would have to consider is regulation and compliance, and there would be sustained requirements to meet regulatory and compliance demands. This is going to be a sustained priority area for the insurers of tomorrow. So if you look at these five priorities are predicted to be powered by digital transformation initiatives across the insurance companies. This is the case with the insurance companies in India as well as globally. Now, we need to, as an industry, we need to ask ourselves this particular question as to what is the winning formula for digital. Organizations need to have a sharp focus on four or five different considerations. The first is obviously speed, and we can definitely vouch for the fact that speed and agility has definitely become the number one priority for a lot of organizations, including the insurers, especially over the last 12 to 18 months in the wake of the pandemic. This is very important for success and competitive differentiation. You need to be able to come out with products and capabilities and solutions really quickly. With speed and agility, there is also the angle of flexibility and how easily can the users or your customers use your particular solutions, use your particular products. So flexibility and ease of use is also very critical. While flexibility, ease of use, and speed are critical, they must also be deployed at a certain scale. So scalability is also very important. And with scalability, we also need to consider integration capabilities of different IT systems. Solutions must also be made smarter and intelligent. So we'll have to take a look at how applications and IT systems can be made intelligent through the use of AI technologies. And systems definitely have to be made trustworthy for different customers to use. And this is also necessary from a compliance and governance standpoint. So these are certain critical considerations for the insurance companies to look at, and these are the ingredients for the winning formula for digital transformation initiatives in the time to come. Now, with this in mind, when we have looked at how digital transformation initiatives will take place in the insurance vertical and what are some of the ingredients, we should also take in parallel a view of the different approaches to application development or different approaches to digital transformation initiative. And low code is one of those approaches. At this stage, let me invite the founder and CEO of Wizergos to share his thoughts and perspectives on the evolution of low code and how does it help. Shivabrata, over to you.
Thanks, Srijan, and thank you everyone for joining this session. My name is Shiva Brata Mandal. I'll just talk through next few slides to talk about our view of how low code can help in digital transformation projects. Just in the previous slides, Srijan was talking about the winning formula, right? So the different capabilities that one should build in order to be successful in digital transformation projects. If we just take two of them, let's say we take agility, which is your time to market and the ability to keep your software projects up to date and keep updating them as and when your business requirements change. So that is, let's say, the agility side. And the flexibility, you think of it as the software that you build for your digital transformation projects are exactly the ones that you want, right? So it is really custom software that fits exactly your needs. If you think of these two attributes, then oftentimes they are really at odds with each other, right? So today, as IT leaders of enterprises or of insurance companies, you have really two choices, right? So if you think of building a software solution for some of your digital transformation projects, and you have this choice that, okay, you can go and get a custom off-the-shelf solution, which could be a SaaS-based product, it could be an on-premise solution, but it is like the off-the-shelf solution, pre-packaged software that is already there. So that will be your fastest time to market. Right? So with these kind of solution, you can really go out to market the fastest However, what you lose out on is flexibility, because maybe that software does not, uh, you cannot make it work exactly the way you want or exactly the way your internal processes are structured. And hence you have to make some compromises there. So then the other possibility that you have is really on the extreme side of flexibility, that you can build a custom software yourself. Your IT team can build a custom software. You can go engage with one of the big IT firms and build a custom software. And in that case, what you really get is you will get exactly what you want. So you get all the flexibility. But on agility side, you get hurt. So your time to market will really be delayed. What platform the software or low code platform is giving you is essentially giving you a different uh, trade-off here, that you could say that, okay, with low code platform, I will get a high degree of agility because I can build the software much quicker than building full custom software using traditional software development mechanisms. However, I can get a lot of flexibility that I get while building custom software. And I will be also quite agile because I can build it much quicker than I would have done using the custom software. Right? So it provides you another option and another set of trade-offs which might fit your needs better. And at this point, I'll also introduce a concept of no code. So there is, while here in this presentation, we are talking about low code, but there are also other platforms or many platforms which are no code, where you don't have any way of adding any additional customization of your own. But there can be many applications that you could build with no code, which again you can build faster, quicker, and achieve your goals. Right? And with low code, you have the additional capability of really building them faster, quicker with all the primitives that the low code platform provides you. But additionally, if you want to change certain things, these low code platforms will allow you to add a certain amount of code in order to customize it even further. Maybe we can go to the next slide. So we'll talk about a little bit of, what are the key benefits of low code. So a couple of them we kind of already talked about, which is low code platform really gives you this ability to, faster time to market compared when you compare it with custom software development. And at the same time, it also gives you flexibility. Right? You can actually build the application to fit your exact needs and don't have to depend, or you don't have to modify your own internal processes or way of working based on what software, off the shelf custom software that you plan to deploy for your project. So you get some benefits for both time to market as well as flexibility. Um, the few other things that I want to touch upon, which are probably not as apparent, but low code platforms also help you, with robustness and scalability. Because if you were to build all these applications ground up every time, then you have to take care of a lot of robustness and scalability yourself. Wherein the low code platforms will provide you a layer of software which is much more baked in and has been pre-tested and much more robust, on top of which you are building the business logic. So overall, as an application architecture, you get much more robustness, and some of these platforms will also provide you horizontal scalability, where you can scale with as your business grows. Also provides you lower development and maintenance costs. Right? So since you can build these applications much more quickly with developers who need not be as experienced in building applications, because it will provide you higher level primitives using which your developers could quickly build these applications. You lower your development cost, you go to market faster, but most of these digital transformation projects are also business applications which will continuously change as your business changes, as your market changes. Maybe you have a new partnership because of which you have to change certain things, and these changes will also be faster and at lower cost. And so what you really get is that you can accelerate your automation efforts, you can accelerate your digital transformation projects, and get all these benefits out of a low code platform and build more solutions with the same budget. Srijan, probably we can go to the next slide. In this slide, so clearly there are low-code platforms which can be, there are different type of low-code platforms which focus on different type of applications. In this webinar, we are going to, focus on digital transformation projects. So the low-code platforms which would help you accelerate your digital transformation projects. So if you think of digital transformation projects, and think of it purely from a technical point of view, from an IT point of view, then our view of digital transformation projects are these layers of software that has to sit on top of your existing system of record solutions and have to connect with all of them and provide a custom user experience or provide or digitize a process, a business process that was earlier maybe manual, maybe paper-based, or maybe manual but over email and Excel sheet or file sharing kind of process. You could build a project, so software solution which will digitize such processes, or it will give a custom user experience. But fundamentally, these applications have to work in, along with all the other system of record solutions that you already have. So if you think of an insurance company, you will have your CRM, you will have your policy management system, you will have your claims management system, you will have your, all customer interactions database. Most of these digital transformation projects will have to interact with one or more, in many cases, all of them, in order to provide a value. And if you think of the business view of digital transformation projects, these are again, a business application which is providing some user experience to the business users or to the customers or to the partners, or if they are automating some processes. For such kind of applications, the platform has to provide some capabilities kind of natively for it to be successful. So we believe some of these capabilities are kind of listed here. So one of them, like we already talked about, is this ability to build custom user experience. Okay? So these platforms must natively support a way of very quickly, with a drag and drop kind of interface, build custom GUI-based user interfaces or conversational user interfaces. Right? And conversational user interfaces also these platforms must support, because going forward, a lot of these applications must be capable of providing a conversational user interface. Right? So when you are looking at a low-code platform, that is one of the things that you should look at. That does it allow a very easy way of building user, experiences, either GUI-based and also conversational, natively out of that platform. Additionally, like I was saying, that these type of applications will not be a standalone application. Typically, they will always have to depend on all the system of record solutions, either to read some data out of it or maybe update some data. So they must be able to integrate with any other application very easily. So maybe any of these applications, as long as they provide a REST or SOAP API call with zero code, with very easy form and drag and drop kind of feature, one should be able to integrate with this application. And additionally, of course, the platform must also support a way to control who has access, which application has access to which data. Because when you bring in such a platform in your enterprise and you are connected with all your system of record solutions, you probably don't want all applications to have access to all the data. So some kind of access control capability must also be present. Also, when you are building, these kind of digital transformation projects, they must be capable of, multi-device and multi-touch point kind of interactions. Right? So multi-devices, of course, you should be able to build web applications. You should be able to build mobile applications. The web applications must be responsive and must be able to work in all kind of different device sizes. Additionally, of course, you should be able to support like a conversational user interface, which can manifest as like a chatbot in a web page. It can manifest maybe even as a WhatsApp bot, or as a Facebook Messenger, or all these Microsoft Teams. In all these popular platforms, one should be able to push an application that you build out of these platforms. Additionally, it should probably also support social media, email kind of touch points, such that you can build applications which can be then made accessible to the users in many different ways. other part of when you are focusing on digital transformation projects, which are core enterprise products, the you should be able to build applications which are really complex business logic. So there would be low-code platforms which can build potentially simpler applications, but not enterprise-grade applications. But when you're thinking of a low-code platform for digital transformation project, then they must also have this capability of building really complex business logic. They must also play well within the enterprise application lifecycle management. It should support, let's say, CI/CD. It should be available in a secure. The applications should be secure. You should be able to run through your security compliance test and pass those tests. So when you are again focusing on digital transformation, those capabilities have to be present. Last but not the least, uh, going forward, a lot of these applications will need AI capabilities. Right? So a platform, when you are looking at a low-code platform, if it natively supports an ability to build AI models using your enterprise data, then using the inference or the prediction path of those models as part of your application, those capabilities will also become more and more important. Yes, Srijan, probably next slide. So now I'll talk about a few use cases within the enterprise insurance companies. So in our research, what we see is that low-code platforms have used across the value chain of an insurance company, across all departments of an insurance company. There are use cases of low-code platform. And in the next few slides, we'll talk about each of these a little bit. So we can go to the next slide. So the first use case that I'm going to talk about is customer experience and engagement. So think of a self-service solution for your customers. It must be that those solutions you build with omni-channel in mind, that your customer who can come, will interact with you wherever the customers are. So the customers may interact with you from social media, they may interact with you from your web portal, from your mobile app, or WhatsApp. In all of those channels or through email, the customer must get a very consistent support, a consistent view. And in order to build that, you must provide, customer, the applications must be able to interact, connect with your system of record solutions, pull data that is necessary in order to provide the right solution for the customer. So again, the question is, why would you use low code, right? So if you again think of the previous slide that I was talking about, that clearly you have this option that maybe there is a solution that is off the shelf that is available, but you have to think about whether that can fit in within your environment and can integrate with all the solutions that you have, all the system of record solutions that you have in-house, and also provide the exact customer experience that you want. And if you cannot, then the other option that you have is, let's say, custom software development, which may take a long time, and also changing them going forward might be a problem. What low code will provide you is that you can build the solution that you exactly need. And these customer experience or engagement solutions are never really done. You would always go live with what you have, but then you will bring in new products, new solutions, and they have to keep on changing rapidly. And low code will give you that benefit for that, at that point in time. If we go to the next slide. Next, I'll talk about this contact center solution. So it is potentially there are a lot of similarities between here and the previous one, but the contact center solution, what we are thinking of is essentially a solution that your contact center agents are going to use. So think of an insurance business, especially if you think of general insurance business, or even in life insurance. There are a lot of different types of products. The products are really complex. They are highly regulated products, and your contact center agents also, you will probably notice that there is a lot of churn over there. A lot of agents or junior agents who have just joined. It is almost impossible for the agents to keep up to date with all the different products and provide the right kind of solution when your customer calls them. So customer could call on a phone number, they could come on a live chat with the agent, or they could send an email. But these agents have to now provide the right support. And oftentimes what happens is, because of this really large variety of products and complex products, agents are unable to provide the great good quality and consistent support. So the solution that it would build is, again, it will provide the agent a customer 360 view by pulling data from all different solutions, all different system of record. And also you can provide a virtual agent which will guide the real human agents throughout the call, so that the agent will give the correct support based on the exact policy or exact product and the exact type of customer, and the support request that is there. Agent can guide, the virtual agent will guide the real agent throughout the call or throughout the live chat session to provide correct support. Also, it will improve your first call resolution, because what oftentimes would happen is, where the agent can't figure out what is to be done, they will kind of take the request and say that, okay, we will come back to you later, which means in that call, the customer's problem was not solved. So if you can provide a virtual agent, you will reduce the first call, you will improve your first call resolution. And not only that, you will also provide a very consistent support, right? It does not matter which customer's call landed on which agent. It may be an experienced agent, not experienced agent. The customer will get the same quality of support. So that will improve your customer quality. Customer satisfaction, NPS scores should go high, and overall business quality should improve. Go to next slide. Yeah, I guess Srijan, you will take over from here.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Shivapata. So we have seen the use cases of low-code application development platforms in one function, which was customer experience and engagement. Now let's look at some of the other use cases across different business functions. And let's start with how can low-code empower innovation in insurance companies and typically help in new product development. So we all know that this is a very highly evolving space, and insurers are swamped with evolving customer requirements, and they may have to launch very new launch new capabilities very quickly. And sometimes they are coming out with products. It may be because of a new customer demand. It may be because of a different regulation. It could be because of business pressures. Any competitor in the insurtech space might have come up with a very, very innovative solution to engage customers, or a very innovative product, in response to which the incumbent insurance company would have to launch some new product. So just imagine the hassles of working with traditional application development approaches in these scenarios. We believe that adopting a traditional application development approach, it actually defeats the purpose of time to market for a particular solution. And this is the exact problem that the low-code application development platform solves for the insurance companies. It gives you the necessary tools to develop and deploy applications at a fraction of the resources needed, and also very, very quickly. And the other important consideration as far as benefits are concerned is that it gives you the required amounts of scalability and flexibility. And as Shibhubrata was mentioning, so assume that you've built an application right now, and 6 months down the line you need further changes onto that application. Going to the traditional application development approaches again would prove to be would actually be very, very difficult for you. And low code approaches can actually help unburden organizations with a lot of these hassles, legacy and shadow IT. Why should you use low code? Obviously, I've mentioned some of these: quick time to market, business agility, lower development and maintenance costs, reduce costs of failure. This point is very, very important because in new product development, so essentially organizations are experimenting with different solutions, and you need to build IT systems in support of these new solutions. And sometimes the products and solutions may fail. I'm talking about the insurance products and solutions. They may not take off as expected, in which case the IT systems have to be disbanded, downsized, and discontinued. In these cases, low code application development platforms are extremely valuable for organizations because the costs of actually developing applications and maintaining applications is very limited with regards to low code application development platforms. So these are the superior benefits of low code application development platforms. when it comes to partnering insurance companies with their new product development. So I clearly remember one CIO mentioning that low code application development platform clearly supports change for insurance companies. So it is a partner in their change process, continuous evolution process. Moving on, let's discuss the use cases in underwriting and policy management. Clearly, this is a very important step in the overall insurance value chain. And one of the use cases I wanted to discuss was the underwriting process, modernization, and automation. So there are different steps in the overall underwriting process, which starts from data ingestion to analysis. There is the segmentation of different applications, different customers, followed by rating, binding, and then the final offer is released to the insurance customers. Imagine a particular system, imagine an application development platform which has the capability to bind all of these workflows together and automate several aspects, several steps involved in these workflows seamlessly. This is one crucial aspect of low code application development platforms in the entire underwriting process modernization. It enables you to have a single consolidated view of all the workflows and related tasks. And this view is available not only to the internal stakeholders who are the employees of the insurance company, but it is also available to some external partners. For example, it may be available to the agents as well. So this solves a lot of hassles for the insurance companies. What it also enables is that it enables a seamless intake of data from a variety of sources. Workflow automation and integration obviously has a lot of benefits with regards to efficiencies and productivities of internal and external stakeholders. So time to market, lower cost of maintenance and development, consolidated view, which obviously brings about a rapid change, a rapid increase in productivity and efficiency, and increased stakeholder satisfaction. So the benefits in the entire underwriting process, modernization, and automation are immense. I would also like to mention a very specific and unique use case in the entire process of underwriting and policy management. This is the case of investigation workflow management. And obviously most of the underwriters would appreciate this case that this is a very, very key requirement. They need data for their applications, data that can support the applications of their customers. And more often than not, some of this data is provided by external third-party agents who have to go to the site. For example, if in case of home insurance or in case of auto insurance, so the investigation has to be done by the external agents, and they have to go to the site and then do the investigation and submit their reports. So advances in investigation data collection and integration, they are very, very critical steps. And if handled properly through proper IT systems that are fairly integrated into the core underwriting processes, they could lead to lower losses in the underwriting of different insurance policies. Now, what can low code empower for insurers in this case? Low code can enable mobile based applications for external third party agents so that they can capture a lot of information. For example, they can capture images and video along with documents and other data varieties. This can be integrated with the core underwriting process. And normally, what happens is that there is an email communication, or let's say a WhatsApp communication between the external parties and the internal stakeholders. And through some of this communication, a lot of message, a lot of key relevant data is sometimes lost. So the low code application for investigation workflow management, it establishes an omni-channel communication model between the external and internal stakeholders. And what's more is that this application can further be strengthened with artificial intelligence technologies. So as soon as the data is collected, behind the scenes, the AI ML model can run and it can help companies to detect fraud at the point of application submission, insurance application submission. The value for low code, as far as this particular use case is concerned, that is also immense because, as I said, that quality investigation data is the gateway for proper analysis of applications. This can help in lower losses, higher profitability for different underwriting products. It can also help in reduction of frauds. So fraud detection is a very, very crucial benefit that is accrued by using low code applications and applications which are powered by artificial intelligence technologies. So this is the overall idea about underwriting and policy management. Obviously, there are multiple other use cases. For example, partners, which are agents in this case, they can generate an instant quote for different policies. There are workflows associated with application prioritization and exception. So this is a typical case management kind of a use case. Most of the times there may be certain policy modifications that need to be there on behalf of the customers. So you need certain applications to manage those. There needs to be certain applications and capabilities for payments of insurance premiums. So your application needs to have those kind of capabilities. And in the entire underwriting process, there are onboarding activities of junior underwriters. So there needs to be an entire workflow which will onboard the junior underwriters, train them, and help in knowledge management for these underwriters, for especially who are who've just joined the organization and who have lesser years of experience. So there are these different other use cases that we have seen insurers talk about and develop POCs for all of these use cases as well. So this is a fairly exciting business function in the insurance vertical, and we are seeing lots of adoption of low code in this particular function. I would also like to touch upon two other business functions. One is marketing and sales, and the other is claims processing. In marketing and sales, the use case that is being adopted very prominently across the globe is agent portfolio and administration management, because agents clearly need a very quick way of, and obviously a seamless way of gathering information about the products of their insurance company partners and also of their customers. So they need a lot of information about insurance products, the existing customer policies of the customers, and existing policies in general, renewals, claims, and a host of other information areas. So if all of this information is made available to them through a single application, which could be a mobile-based application for them, this could solve a lot of their day-to-day communication and engagement hassle. This will bring a lot of efficiency and a lot of satisfaction with regards to the agents as far as the benefits are concerned. So as I said, that low code application development platforms can help insurance companies build mobile or web applications that will give a portfolio view, complete view, consolidated view of all the information areas that I mentioned. In addition, there could be capabilities such as alerts and notifications for various activities. For example, if there is a renewal activity which is pending maybe in a week's time, the agent might get alerts, and the agent, through the alert, he will come to know that there's a payment due in 1 week's time, and he would call up the customer and he would inform the customer. So all of this could be really beneficial for increasing the value for the agents and the customers. So this is the agent portfolio and administration management use case. We uh, we have also seen intelligent personalized recommendations for salespeople working in insurance companies as well as agent teams. There is a certain level of similarity with the contact center agents that Shivabrata talked about somewhat earlier. But this goes with the this actually extends the scope of personalized recommendations to external stakeholders, which are agents in this particular case. So different insurance companies have multiple insurance products, and under multiple products, there is a plethora of information that the agents and sales professionals have to imbibe and then pass on the relevant information to their customers. It is virtually impossible for them to sift through this load of information and respond to customer queries with the most relevant of recommendations, and that too on a real time basis. So a low code platform that allows for a consolidated customer view and personalized recommendations based on certain AI ML technologies that is running behind the scenes, that is very effective for the agents as well as for the customers. And recommendations could be made based on segments of target customers based on suggested products, based on their behavior, preferences, based on renewals, surrender related inputs, and so on. All of this is extremely helpful for giving higher customer satisfaction, greater conversion rates for sales and agent teams, and higher satisfaction for agents. This data could also be effectively mined for predictions, which could further be used for intelligent personalized recommendations. So these are the typical applications of low code application development platforms for marketing and sales in insurance companies. I'll just come to the last bit of the use cases that we are going to talk about. This is the domain of claims processing, and we all know how difficult it can be for customers to submit claims and get their claims processed. So streamlining claims process and optimizing relevant workflows is a very important use case for the insurers because this is directly linked to customer satisfaction and loyalty. So low code application tools may build applications that support large scale digitization of end to end workflows. So it may start with capturing of claims forms, and obviously there could be a variety of data variety and different modes through which data can be submitted. So that is one, and this could be submitted and different documents have to be analyzed. So this analysis could be done through several technologies like IDP, intelligent document processing. It could be once the data is analyzed through IDP, this could be pushed to different processing workflows and to various systems of record, and different automation tools could be leveraged to automate a variety of repetitive tasks, and tighter integration of the claims processing system with other insurance systems, for example, contact center, finance, marketing, and sales, could be made effective with the help of low code application tools. And reporting and dashboarding capability is also possible. This can provide real time business information on relevant KPIs for insurance companies. This is the end-to-end claims document digitization and workflow optimization. Let me just touch upon a few of these important workflows. One such important workflow is the entire process of claim submission. And one use case that we have seen is that low code can help build a mobile claim submission application, which is very easy, intuitive for customers, very easy to handle on the part of agents as well. So low code platforms can help the organizations build a mobile application that can be used by policyholders or even agents to submit expenses, supporting documents, etc. And this will enable the quick and easy upload of expenses, and then this could be taken through different systems of record and for further processing through IDP and other relevant technologies. This ensures faster and easy submission of different applications and information, and this will ultimately drive down processing times. So just imagine if the processing times are reduced significantly. This helps in raising the customer satisfaction value because the claims could be processed and reimbursed much faster. The other use case that I want to talk about is first notice of loss. This is a very critical step in claims processing. And generally, what we have seen is that most of these activities in the first notice of loss activity process is manual. So moving from physical or manual to digital modes of reporting of loss, this could be an extremely critical step in speeding up claims processes. And how can low code help? Low code can power web and mobile, portals that can help policyholders to submit, assess, and track their claim submission process. So these are different use cases that we have covered in customer experience and engagement, in marketing and sales, in underwriting and policy management, and in claims processing. There are multiple other use cases as well, but in the interest of time, we have covered some of the most important ones that we have seen most organizations adopt. And with this, we come to with this we come to our end of the presentation. And at this point in time, we welcome questions from the audience. Please feel free to share, ask any questions that you may have. You could unmute yourself and ask a question if you have. So Shivo, I have received a couple of questions from participants. So can you please unmute yourself and ask questions? Okay, so I will ask the questions on their behalf, Shiva. So one question that has been asked is, what are the possible scenarios for low code and no code usage? So Shiva, you clearly mentioned about two different tool sets, low code and no code. So could you help the audience, understand what are the different usage scenarios? In which cases should low code be used? In which cases should no code be used?
Right. So, the one way of thinking about it is that low code is essentially, in principle, a superset of no code. So the idea is that both low code and no code platforms would provide you certain drag and drop kind of capabilities to build applications. And the way that would be provided to you is by there are certain primitives or certain templates that are already pre-built, right? And you can somehow put them together in different ways to build your application. Right? So that is the high level idea. So no code platform would stop at that, right? So no code platforms will say that we have all these different capabilities that are built, and using this, you can build your application. And they will be, let's say, pretty user friendly, and people with little or no programming experience can easily build these applications. So they are very useful from that point of view. The low code platforms would go potentially one step further and say that, okay, we have built all these different primitives and different templates using which you can build an application. But in case this doesn't work for you and you are stuck in with certain use case, or some case where you want to customize it further by adding some more code, then the low code platforms will provide you a way to add such code, right? And the way you can add code are in potentially two areas, right? So one is that let's say the low code platform provides you a lot of templated UI that it will give you maybe many different ways of creating a user interface, which is graphical user interface, or even for conversational user interface, the look and feel of it. It will give you certain choices, but if you don't like those choices and you want it to be very different and you want to brand it for yourself, then low code platform will provide you a code interface where you can upload a little bit of maybe JavaScript, CSS, HTML code to completely change the way your application looks. So that's really the high level difference. Now, when should you choose one or the other? So our view, or my view essentially, is that if you're looking at one application and you are evaluating certain platforms for it, then whichever suits you best, you can choose. So in that case, you can clearly choose a no code platform also. If it fits all your needs and it is very easy to use, that will work. If you're thinking of adopting a local a platform rather, using which you will build your current application that you are looking for, but you are also thinking that this is a strategic platform for me, which I will keep using to build many other applications in future, then probably low code is slightly better option, because it gives you this code interface also, so that the variety of application and the type of applications that you can build in future will be much larger. So that is one way of looking at it. That if you're thinking of it in a strategic way, then definitely choose low code. Otherwise, a lot of low code platforms can also be very useful to build certain applications.
Okay. And I think the next question which has been asked, that is slightly linked to the first question. This question is with regards to the low code application development platforms. The question is, are these only for developers, or can these be used by business professionals also? And the related question is, for the developers, does it really make sense for them to learn low code versus any coding specific coding skills? So these are two questions that are clubbed.
Okay. So let me take the first one, right? So uh, clearly different low code or no code platforms are targeting potentially a slightly different audience. But overall, I feel that these platforms are useful to both the developer community as well as the business user, business analyst communities. And the reason, but because the value that really comes, from the value that comes from for that the low code platform brings uh, to to the developers is kind of different from the value that it brings to the business users. So if you think of the developers, it actually allows them to build applications which are probably way more complex or really large applications, very complex. They would not have fit in budget and timeline if they had adopted, let's say, the regular software development methodologies. And then low code in some sense is allowing them to build such applications. So you can build applications within budget, within time, and solve your business problem, and hence it is useful to developers. Now, if you think of business users, oftentimes business users may have some application needs which are not bubbling up in the priority list of the IT teams. So they would want certain application, but okay, there are like many other applications to be built. And when it comes to budgeting and planning for the year, then not all applications get into the priority list of the IT team to build. So there could be certain relatively simpler applications which does not need to maybe get the blessing of the IT team or need to get connected to all the other IT systems, and hence can be potentially managed by the business users themselves. So the business users can have business analysts in their team to build certain applications that are useful to them. Right? So it will kind of bring a different kind of benefit and use case for the business users versus for the developers. I guess that was the first question. So, second one is why should developers care about low code? And I guess the subtext of the question is low code good for my resume, or low code skills good for my resume, or is it like some programming kind of skills are good for my resume? So I guess it is a transition period. So low codes are not yet as popular. So these questions would come, and depending on how the industrial market unfold, we see a lot of benefit by having low skills. For developers, I would also say that you can think of yourselves as like software programmers or software engineers. So as a software engineer, you're trying to solve a problem and build a complex solution, and whatever tools you can use to build that solution is good for you. Right? So in that sense, it is the programming language and is also a tool, and low-code platform is also a tool, and it's fair game. And of course, you want to know a skill that is kind of valued by the market, and that will come with time. So you have to make some bets now and see which low-code platform potentially would be a useful skill. But in general, a low code, let's say, assuming that you believe that low code will will account for a lot of software development in future, which it appears to be the case from a lot of different research, then having that as one of your skills will be beneficial in future.
Okay, great points. So, Shivu, a couple of questions more that have come. One question is with regards to the synergy between low code and agile. So, are these similar in some sense? One enabling
Uh,
another, one enabling the
I
other.
mean, yeah. So so essentially the way I guess we can think of it is that agile uh, allows agile software development process is really about the core part of it is about very quick decision making. Right? All the processes are like geared towards very quick decision making, and low code or no code platforms are about quick delivery, quick implementation. In that sense, there is clearly some synergy. But if you look more deeper, I guess you will see that if you're building a very complex enterprise application, oftentimes you'll find difficulties following the agile process because you are probably building a lot of you are probably building a lot of the core of your application, where the business users don't have anything to see or anything to provide feedback for, and they want to look at really the outer interface layer and provide feedback. Low code platforms kind of allows you to build it quickly and work closely with the business users, and hence agile process can be adopted much more easily. And in a lot of cases, potentially the business users can understand the internals, because the internals can be shown graphically, or the internals can be shown in a conversational way, or a much more user friendly way, where the business users can actually understand what is implemented and provide feedback on that. So I see that there are a lot of kind of synergy between the two, and probably using low code you will be able to follow agile. Most enterprises today follow agile process, but then how much you can follow and how well you can follow will probably improve with the adoption of low code.
Okay. So there is one question that Abhinav Kumar has. He's asking about some specific challenges faced by you in the market and how did you overcome them? And Shiva,
Right.
there's another question with regards to challenges. These are, an end user organization has asked about some specific challenges and how can they begin their journey and how can they solve the challenges. So maybe these two questions can be combined. So if you can answer.
So actually, when we kind of talk to enterprises and IT leaders, I mean the challenges that we find are pretty similar to any new concept or new paradigm or new technology. When it comes, there are certain challenges, right? Because you don't know. No, I mean, there is this problem of knowing exactly what it is. So, if what is the meaning of low code? There are so many different low code platforms. How are they different from each other? What am I exactly getting into? There are a lot of these challenges just because it is new, and the only way. So clearly it is a challenge, right, for the IT leaders as well as vendors like us. It is a challenge. The way we try to solve this from our side is really through education. Right? So we have to, what we try to do is really explain in much more detail what low code is and what even our platform in detail is. Right? That is one way. From the IT leaders side, I see that that there are two different things. Right? One is what I mentioned, that how do we figure out whether to use low code or not, and the other is how do we get buy-in from all stakeholders, right? So we have seen two different approaches. Different organizations probably have different culture, different way of working. We have seen cases where enterprises have jumped into low code and built like a really mission critical solution with it, right? And we have some case studies of that nature where large insurance company built really mission critical problem right out of the bat using a local platform. And we have also seen cases where companies kind of take approach for more strategic view of it, probably, or longer term view, where they would start experimenting with certain applications and use cases, get a feel for it, and then move on to building the next the next level of complexity, or the next level of applications. In fact, we are also talking with a bank where they have like a 2 to 3 year plan of setting up a low code center of excellence, right? So there are all these different paths that people are taking, and I guess each enterprise will have to choose their own, and either of them can work.
Okay, great. Shiva, one last question. I think we are nearing the completion, or we are nearing the time limit. So just one last question about our solution, and especially our work with the clients that we have done in India and overseas. If you could just briefly touch upon our work, then that would be
Some insurance companies.
yes.
Right, right. So yeah, we have worked with some insurance companies both in India and outside India. So in India, of course, we have worked with ICICI Lombard. They are and there is a case study, and it is publicly mentioned about that project, so I can clearly mention them and their name. We have also worked with a few other insurance companies where they are not yet publicly mentioned, so I will not name them. But we have, for example, with Lombard, the work we have done is in their contact center solution, which is a pretty mission critical application that they have built with low code. In some sense, their IT team is quite pioneer in this aspect, that they decided to move with low code and build a pretty mission application with it. We have also worked with other insurance companies. One, we are currently also building some solution in the sales and marketing space for another insurance company. But outside India, also we have worked with insurance company. One insurance company is Fidelis Insurance. They are based out of UK. So there also we have built like a solution for their sales team and their underwriters to work together. Essentially, it is also integrated with Sugar CRM that they use. As, application for that, where they can track all the tasks and actions as part of this solution. So yes, we have worked with some insurance companies in India and abroad. And there are other NBFCs and other financial institutes like NBFCs and banks that we are also working with or work with. In insurance also we have worked both in India and
Great, great. So thank you, Shibo, for sharing your thoughts and perspectives on these questions asked. Some of these questions were really great. We are well over time right now, so I would like to thank all the attendees for joining this particular webinar on behalf of the entire Wizergos team. Thank you for taking out time on a Friday afternoon slash evening. It has been, you have been a great audience, and we will send you a copy of the deck after this call as a token of appreciation. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Take care.